We have the return of Doomz, hero action, and even some Shaddoll too. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more content. This Doomz deck has just been one of the biggest grinders that we have followed out here every single week. Because the minute that this duelist figured out that you can just play the golden bamboo sword package within this deck, they have rode this to victory for so long that it is an incredibly crazy thing to see. Now, obviously, does this make Doomz any better than it actually is? I mean, not entirely so. I mean, you're basically just playing a Floodgate Protect the Castle strategy, whose job is to basically just chaotically set up and go. And I mean, that's what the Golden Bamboo Sword package is. It's there to help you have that little extra consistency, to make it feel like, you know, the boards that you're basically setting up are basically good to go. So I got to give it to this deck, man. This duelist, and we've not seen any replication of this in the TCG. I assume at some point we probably will. Next up here we have Hero, and of course you do see that we do have the new masked hero within the deck. This is the build that has been predicted to be the new creature. This is the thing that everybody's excited about, because its job is just to be able to get you set up and be able to go a little bit more consistently. Obviously, 43 cards might feel a little bit bad for you, but I think that's fine, honestly. I don't really feel like when you're playing this deck that your first thought process should be, you know, I'm playing too much fat in the deck. No. Your goal is to make sure that your deck is consistent, and you don't really get much of that counter argument when you're looking at this, because you've chosen to play hero in this current era. All right, like, your deck already is full of some of the biggest bricks that you can kind of toss into the competitive sphere. So I think this does work out pretty nicely. Next up here we have Shaddolls, going with the triple Armageddon Knight in here. And now, obviously, I don't hate Armageddon Knight. I think he's probably one of the best cards that you can kind of rely on to kind of start your combo. You're also going to notice in here that we are playing Ketu Draco Tail with triple Phimena. But that's it. You're not really, you know, going too much further down that rabbit hole. Because honestly, if you start to explore the little extra bits and pieces that that package is giving you, then, you know, your extra deck really can't support it much more. Because unfortunately, I mean, looking at this, you've got 14 necessity cards in the Shaddoll pool, with the Link 2 being kind of like that exception. I kind of hate that Link 2 sometimes, man. It feels like garbage at some points, but you understand you kind of have to play it because it does give you some of that extra combo setup that sometimes your deck just necessarily feels like it lacks. So that's a pretty important thing. Next up here, boy, even Elven Notes figure it out that they can play Mitsurugi. Come on, man. I don't get paid enough here to see that we are going to be doing some incredibly stupid plays with this deck. Also, I do see you a spell canceller down there. The fact that this deck also gets access to some of the Floodgate ingredients that some of these other decks really shouldn't be having access to is very, very telling, man. You just don't get the chance to see a lot of the flavor that comes with this. But obviously, his build's also playing Medius the Pure in it. I feel like Medius the Pure does not really show up in a lot of these variations. It's just like, hey, you know, here's Medius. He's doing, you know, his opportunity to try to make things look a little bit more interesting in the deck building space, but sometimes I just feel like it's not super good within this deck. Next up here, we have DDD. Wow. First up, congratulations to seeing DDD action actually kind of making some progression here. And then I do see we are playing the Dark Spirits Mastery in here. That's fine. Dark Spirits Mastery's job is to get you, you know, a search for one of the level 8 Fiend monsters that you're going to need to basically extend through your combo, which is actually going to be kind of nice. I do see we have the double Gilgamesh in here. We've also got double Denko Sekka in the side deck. Obviously, 2 Solemn Judgments in the side deck. The most recent Forbidden and Limited list for this deck, I mean, it punched it a little bit. I mean, like, you lost an Impulse and you lost, like, maybe some little extra bits and pieces for it, but it's not like it's enough to really make this deck out to be worse than it actually is. I think that this deck is just fine for your kind of initial future setup. So, okay, that's quite interesting to kind of think about for the deck building space. And then we've got more water. I'm telling you guys, people saw Totally Awesome come back, and they have been trying, they are cooking with all of the futuristic tech choices that they can. They're like, hey, does Shark become this incredibly much more, fun, consistent deck? Does it make things change up? What are we doing here to basically try to supplement out whatever we can? And honestly, it's working out just fine for what you would expect the deck to do. Obviously, bridging into getting the negation, relying on the Shark stuff, using the control side of Stealth Kraken. It's all the same tools that the deck has naturally had in the past. It's just now finally you're seeing all of this kind of coming together underneath the setting of, all right, this actually works in terms of your end board game plan. So I do think this deck is actually kind of fun. Next up here we have Memento. I have not seen Memento doing anything at all, and honestly it kind of felt like this deck had fallen off. Actually, I do think that this deck has fallen off very, very dramatically, actually. And it's kind of a shame, actually, because it feels like this deck had some of the coolest potential for the long term. Obviously, you do see that this deck is playing some sales bans, and unfortunately, you just kind of have to rely on sales ban to be one of those cards to kind of help you out. Obviously, I want to be a little bit more positive and be like, well, maybe you can still play this, but the OCG card pool, it just does not really allow access to the Memento stuff. And especially, you're losing a Max C on this list, which is definitely going to hurt this deck's consistency a lot if it's going to try to, continue adventuring on in the future. So a little bit answering there. Next up, we have some Sword Soul. Honestly, I see Protoss sitting his ass right there, and anytime Protoss is going to be involved, it's usually going to be a broken scenario. Nobody really likes seeing Protoss showing up. He's just one of those cards. It's just like, oh man, like this is the result that I have to rely on in order to kind of get things going. And yes, it is. It's pretty stinky, actually. You do see we are doing 2 Fallen and Virtuous in here, which is fine. Your side deck down here has got a lot of tech choices, man. You've got the Magic Deflector and you've got Mask of Restrict. I can't imagine who's running around in this tournament environment playing, a deck that's going to get punished by Mask of Restrict. But, when you look at these deck lists, you can definitely tell some of the problems that these duelists feel like they tend to have. So I do think that that's a little bit hilarious to be seeing. And then we've got some Malice. Oh, wow. This was definitely the last hurrah for this Malice deck, as you can see on the shifter waving goodbye here. The minute that Red Ransom goes away, this deck doesn't necessarily fall off, but man, oh man, does it really lose a lot of the potential that it feels like it had. Now, obviously, the OCG did need to check this deck because it really does feel like that it was a little bit unfair. Once again, you left the deck with Splash Mage all the way up until this point where the TCG had already taken care of that. So when you're leaving a lot of these, what we're going to say consistency enablers running around out here, then yes, you're going to have a deck like this that's going to take massive advantage of things, and it's just going to cause problems, man. There's nothing that you can really do about it. It's just kind of the results of the evolving metagame. So interesting to say the least. And then our last list here is we are off to the races with the Radiant Typhoon and For Hire. Wow. The fact that they managed to get all of that into one deck and actually still have a canine package in here too. Come on, man. How much consistency can you feel like you're losing? But I guess it does work out. Being able to, you're going to be getting to massive Fulgo value off of this. It feels like, that's actually kind of cool. Definitely didn't think about all the advantage that one could be generating off of that, but I guess, for sure. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.